step away from the traffic on Cromwell Road lies the Natural History Museum's Wildlife Garden, a living exhibition of the countryside and a haven in the centre of London. The concept behind the garden was developed by scientists in the late 1980s. It aims to convey the idea of active conservation in an urban setting in response to the museum's work in biodiversity and sustainability. The garden opened in 1995 after 5 years of planning, landscaping and planting, and shows the range of habitats found in lowland Britain, including woodland, chalk downland, ponds and wetland, heathland and meadow. From the beginning, the garden acted as an educational resource for museum visitors. It promotes an understanding of beautiful flora and fauna and provides a resource for naturalists and students. A moment after stepping through the garden gates, visitors find themselves surrounded by grasses, daisies and buttercups, with the air buzzing with bumblebees and hoverflies. The plants in this section, the chalk downland, include salad burnet, lady's bedstraw and bird's foot trefoil. Look more closely at the flora and the wealth of creatures supported by this habitat can be spotted, such as the caterpillar from the six-spot burnet moth. Following the path along to the bridge, in the cooling shade of an alder tree, lies the main pond, the centrepiece of the garden. In early March, the water bubbles with the activity of frogs and toads, which have made their way to the pond to mate. At this time of year, they are hidden away in the cool among the plants on the margins of the pond, such as yellow iris and common reed, and in the damp ditches of the fen area. Azure damselflies and emperor dragonflies that have started their life in this pond are emerging. Away from the pond is the meadow area, with buttercups, oxeye daisies and meadow cranesbill providing nectar for the many insects which inhabit the garden, and a playground for foxes. Not often seen as they emerge after visiting hours, they leave signs of their nocturnal wanderings, like patches of flattened grass where the cubs have been playing. In the woodland area, the spectacular spring show of bluebells, primroses and stitchwort has faded. The leaves of the silver birch, oak, hornbeam and field maple cast a dappled shadow over the ground, now different shades of green from woodland grasses, sedges, ferns and dog's mercury, with the occasional vibrant splash of colour from red campion and common spotted orchid. Also in the woodland glade area is the bee tree, a special installation where visitors can watch honeybees hard at work in a specially built hive. High up in the canopy, blue tits search for caterpillars to feed their fledgling family, and lower down in the shrub layer, wrens that left their nest a few days ago are being taught how to fend for themselves. Across to the heathland, the ground is dominated by gorse, heather, bell heather and bristle-bent grass, and a profile describes the thin sandy soil on which these plants thrive. Some of the hedges edging the brick lane are laid in traditional fashion, which helps keep them thick and bushy, and makes them attractive to nesting birds as well as insects and mammals. The wildlife garden is managed sustainably and organically, and within each habitat, countryside management methods are demonstrated, both for educational purposes and to promote biodiversity. One example of this is coppicing, where small trees and shrubs such as hazel are cut to their base and the wood harvested and used to make woven fences around the garden's meadow to contain our sheep in late summer. The tree is then left to grow for a few years until the stems are large enough for cutting again. Wood piles provide habitats for invertebrates, mammals and fungi. Grassland areas are managed by cutting and grazing. The meadow area is scythed, and after a few days the dry hay crop will be raked off and the meadow left to grow for a few weeks before the sheep arrive in late summer and early autumn to graze the area. The sheep are regular visitors, staying for about 2 months a year, and the rest of the year live at the London Wetland Centre in Barnes, the museum's sheep grazing partner. Volunteers play an essential part in managing the garden and help with many tasks, including planting and pruning, composting and coppicing. Some come to learn, others to offer existing skills in a unique and beautiful setting. So how do we know what creatures are actually living here? Regular observation and surveying are key. Many volunteers who get to know the garden and its inhabitants very well observe and identify birds, molluscs and butterflies as they go about their work. A number of different survey techniques are also used by museum staff. Light traps are run during the night, and the following morning the number of moths caught in the trap are checked, identified and then released. To date, over 494 species of butterflies and moths have been recorded in the garden. Sweep nets are also used and are drawn through the foliage to catch beetles, bugs and other insects. The Wildlife Garden and the life that thrives here creates a truly inspirational classroom. In 2006, over 2,300 school children attended workshops here. Museum members and their families come to enjoy a huge variety of events, including photography without cameras, coppicing, felt making and wildflower walks. Throughout the year, the garden throws open its gates for a wide selection of special days, including Nettle Weekend and Open Garden Squares Weekend, with activities highlighting the biodiversity found in this city oasis. The Wildlife Garden at the Natural History Museum is an amazing place that changes day by day, month by month, and shows how anyone can help encourage wildlife in an urban environment. It's a place for living natural history, a place to inspire people, a place to study, but more than anything, it's a place to enjoy.